All right, so I want you to start in a way that's very comfortable. If you have a bolster, you can place your sacral area up against the bolster and lay back over it. If you don't, just kind of roll up your pillow and do the exact same thing. But with the pillow, you want to make sure that it's underneath your head as well, so that you get the chin to tuck in a little bit. So I just literally folded my pillow in half lengthwise. Now, you can have your legs straight, or you can have the soles of your feet touching and your knees wide apart. If you have your little pillows or blocks, you can place the blocks underneath or pillows underneath your legs. If you don't have any of those things, simply stay as you are, or make fists with your hands and place them underneath your thighs, just to make it a little easier to stay in the position. Of course, you don't have to do this. You can just straighten your legs out. Hands by your sides. I'm going to switch to my bolster. Palms facing up. Oh. Close your eyes and begin to deepen your breath. Every inhalation, allow your bellies to rise. And every exhalation, allow your bellies to drop back towards your spine. Allowing your breath to completely wash over your body. And check in, of course, and make sure that you are breathing in your belly, that you're not breathing in your chest. This is a beautiful way to calm the nervous system. And I'll continue my theme for this week. My theme is about the importance of self-love. The importance of taking time for ourselves, which we're doing right now. Inhale from the crown of your head all the way to your pelvic floor. And exhale from your pelvic floor back to the crown of your head. Inhaling. And exhaling. The full length of your spine. Check in and make sure that you're relaxed. That place in between your eyebrows, relax there. If your tongue's pressing on your palate, don't do that. Allow it to hang back into your mouth. Allow your shoulders to open more, your hips to open more. And then keeping the hands connected to the mat or the floor for as long as you can. It depends how big your pillow is. Inhale and circle your arms overhead. And they'll probably come off the floor eventually. And then exhale and circle your arms back alongside your body. So moving slowly through any tension that you may or may not have. Inhale, circling arms overhead. And exhale, circle your arms back alongside your body. One more time, but a little different. Inhale your arms overhead. Exhale, clasp your right wrist and reach over to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale, clasp your left wrist and reach over to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale, clasp your fingers and press your palms away. Good, now inhale and circle your arms back alongside your body. Take a deep exhalation. Draw your knees together. Roll off of your prop and place it out of the way. And then find your strap or your towel or whatever it is that you're using, your stretchy band. Straighten, I'm going to be mirroring. So straighten your right leg out along the mat. Exhale, draw your left knee in towards your chest. Clasp your left knee and draw it in even more deeply. And then take your strap or your towel around the ball of your left foot and lengthen your left leg up towards the sky. Take both ends of the strap into your left hand. Have both feet flexed and active. Exhale your leg over to the left, just enough so your right hip does not pop up. Keep your left wrist straight and strong. Inhale your leg back up towards the sky slowly. Switch hands and exhale to the other side. Hips could stack if it feels okay for you. Inhale your leg back up. And exhale to the other side. Inhale your leg back up. And exhale back over to the right. Last time, other side. Inhale your leg up. Switch hands and exhale your leg over to the left. Now keep your left wrist straight and strong. Keep both feet flexed and active and breathe. Take about 4 more breaths. Two more breaths. Inhale your leg back up slowly. Switch hands and exhale to the other side. So again, your hips can stack if that feels okay for you. You feel that all along your IT band. Take your left arm by your side, look over your left shoulder. Keep your right wrist straight and strong. And of course, allow your breath to be expansive and full. Three more breaths. Good, one more breath. Inhale your leg back up. Exhale, bend your right knee and place the right sole of your foot onto the earth. Still have the strap around the ball of the left foot. Clasp either side of your strap. Lubricating the hip joint where the femur bone meets into the socket. Inhale and circle your left leg away. Exhale and circle your leg back through center. Continue to circle your leg. following your own breath rhythm. Good, now circle in the opposite direction. Inhale your leg back through center. Remove the strap. Exhale and draw your left knee in towards your chest. Clasp your left knee and draw it in even more deeply. Now inhale and stay. Exhale, allow your right knee to fall open to the right. If this feels a little too much, you can take your block or your pillow and put it underneath your right thigh for support. Exhale, keep the action of drawing your left knee in even more. Keep your chin tucked in but not forced in. We'll take about 5 more breaths, simply allowing the hips to open and release. 4 more breaths. Two more breaths. Inhale and simply slide your right foot out along the mat until your right leg becomes straight. Exhale, draw your left knee in even more and flex your right foot a ton. We'll stay a few more breaths here, but I want you to, it's about the left hip, but also about the right hip flexor, that fight or flight muscle. The more you press throughout your right heel, the more you flex your right foot, the more you might feel it in that right hip flexor. Just 2 more breaths. One more breath. Release your left knee. Inhale, lengthen your left leg up towards the sky. Exhale and lower your left leg back down to the mat. It should almost feel like there's a moment where your leg's moving through space beyond the floor. Once it arrives, take your hands by your sides, palms facing up. Close your eyes and notice how one side feels compared to the other. Does one leg feel longer than the other? 5 deep, slow breaths. Checking in on the belly breathing. Every inhalation, your belly's rise. And every exhalation, your belly sink back towards your spine. You can even take your hands to your belly if you wish. 4 more breaths. One more breath. Everyone take a deep inhalation. Exhale, draw your right knee in towards your chest. Clasp your right knee and draw it in even more deeply. Reach for your strap. Take the strap around the ball of your right foot and lengthen your right leg up towards the sky. Keep both feet flexed and active. Left inner thigh rounds inwards. Take both ends of the strap into your right hand. And then exhale your leg over to the right, just enough so your left hip does not pop up. Keep your right wrist straight and strong. And the leg doesn't have to go far to the right if it doesn't serve you. You can make this really tiny too. Inhale your leg back up. Switch hands and exhale to the other side. Hips could stack. So you'll feel this all along the IT band. Make sure that left wrist is straight and strong. Inhale your leg back up. Switch hands and exhale to the other side. Good. Inhale back up. And exhale your leg back over to the left. So sweet for the hips, the glutes, the IT band, the hamstrings, the piriformis, the low back. Inhale your leg back up. And this time we'll hold. Exhale your leg to the right. And we'll take about 5 breaths. And I did forget to mention on the other side, but if you need to put a pillow underneath your leg for support, you put it in really close to your butt. No problem. If not, just let your leg hang in space. Two more breaths. One more breath. Inhale your leg back up. Switch hands and exhale to the other side, stacking hips completely or not. Make sure your left wrist is straight and strong, even if it means that you switch how you're holding onto the strap. Take your right arm by your side, palm facing up, look over your right shoulder and breathe. Every inhalation, your bellies become expansive and full. And every exhalation, your bellies sink back towards your spine. 3 more breaths. One more breath. Inhale your leg back up. Exhale, place the left sole of your foot onto the earth. Clasp either side of your strap or your towel. Inhale and circle your right leg away. Exhale and circle your leg back through center. Continue to circle your leg, following your own breath rhythm. Circle in the opposite direction. Inhale your leg back through center. Exhale, remove the strap and draw your right knee in towards your chest. Clasp your right knee and draw it in even more deeply. Take a deep inhalation. Exhale and simply allow your left knee to fall open to the left. Again, if that's too much for the hip, the inner thigh, just take a pillow and shove it right underneath the leg for support. So remember, our theme today is all about the importance of self-love. Do what serves you in this moment. And of course, inhaling and exhaling the entire length of your spine. Two more breaths. One more breath. Inhale and simply slide your left foot out along the mat until it becomes straight. Exhale, if it's available, draw your right knee in even more and flex that left foot a ton. Press throughout your left heel and see if you can find that stretch in your left hip flexor. Two more breaths. One more breath. Release your right knee. Inhale, lengthen your right leg up towards the sky. Exhale and lower your leg back down to the mat. There should be a moment where it feels like your leg is moving through space beyond the floor. Good. Now I want you to take your pillows and or bolsters. If you have, I saw your mom had that rolly thingy that can go right underneath the knees with a pillow over it. Or you could take your pillow and fold it in half and put that underneath your knees, or if you have a bolster. So this is, or two pillows even. I'm going to use my bolster. This is really nice to have a slight bend in the knees because it's a very restorative posture because it allows your hip flexors, your iliopsoas muscle to relax. So this muscle, take your hands by your sides, palms facing up once you get into the position. Keep your chin tucked in but not forced in so you find elongation in your cervical spine. And then before I explain what's happening anatomically, I want you to breathe deeper than you normally would. I want you in this moment, when you inhale, to inhale so much breath and then inhale more. And on the exhalations, I want you to exhale every last bit of air that you actually gasp for the inhalation. It'll come very naturally. This is yet another methodology to calm the nervous system. And as you breathe in this kind of way and stay in this position, I'll explain to you the hip flexors. They connect to the femur bone, come up through the hips, and connect to the entire lumbar spine. These hip flexors are a primary fight or flight muscle. So if they're tight, then we can be uptight. It's such a beautiful way, beautiful thing to relax this muscle so we can calm the nervous system. And I don't always expect you to breathe so deeply, but when you breathe this deeply, every inhalation, your bellies rise. And every exhalation, your bellies lower, and it presses your diaphragm up to massage and strengthen your heart. And really interesting Took me a while to figure out why people would cry in yoga, especially with hip flexors, but I learned that your diaphragm is literally connected to this primary fight or flight muscle, the hip flexor, the psoas muscle. So if you are shallow breathing, if you are stressed out, this muscle will become tight due to the lack of depth of the breath. Now that you know what's going on, let's do some subtle movement for the neck and shoulders. Hips relax. Everybody take a deep inhalation. Exhale, press your shoulders up towards the ceiling, not your ears. Press them up to almost a place of tension and take your palms to face down. Concentrate on the inhalations. I want you to lower your shoulders back down to the mat slowly, like melting butter, and eventually the palms face back up. Exhale, press your shoulders up towards the ceiling and take your palms to face down. Inhale, open the neural pathways from the brain to the muscles. Surrender the shoulders slowly back down and palms face back up. Continue to move in this kind of way, but what I want you to become aware of is when the shoulders open back up, is the movement smooth or is it jerky, jarry? If it's jerky, jarry, that's probably tension or muscle amnesia. Let's create new muscle memory. Exhale, press your shoulders up towards the ceiling. Take your palms to face down, and then take the backs of your hands to face the side of your body. So internally rotating the arms even more, pressing the shoulders up more. Inhale, slowly surrender your shoulders, open in the palms, externally rotate your hands face back up. One more time. Exhale, internally rotate your arms till the backs of your hands face the side of your body. Inhale, surrender the shoulders back, open, slow. Good. Now exhale, draw your scapula, your shoulder blades down your back body a little more. Scoop your tailbone if that created an arch in your low back. Tuck your chin and notice the opening in your shoulders. It's actually really fun to do that exercise with one shoulder at a time, because when you're done, the one shoulder will be flat to the mat and the other one will still be really tight. Notice a huge difference. Embrace this new muscle memory. Stay here and breathe deeply for about 5 more breaths. Two more breaths. One more breath. Bend your knees, place the soles of your feet onto the earth. Roll onto one side and press yourself up. Now the next position, I'm going to try it with my, actually pillows will be nice. Again, you fold your big pillow in half. I'd like to demonstrate. The rule is your pillow cannot get stuck in your armpit area. I'm going to fold my pillow in half lengthwise. And I'm gonna lay on my left side body with my pillow underneath my rib cage and then take my arms overhead. So you'll just get an opening in the right side body. If you have a bolster or a bit more height, that can be more intense. If that, I'm not sure if the hernia is, if it'll be good or not, but you could use that round thing with a pillow over it, or just use a pillow if it's too much to use both, okay? So you kind of play around and see what works. And the more height you can get, the better. So maybe even a couple pillows. So arms over head, palms touching. The modifications are you could bend your knees, you could bend your elbows and place a pillow underneath your head or a block, or arms and legs are straight. But now I want to move. Take a deep inhalation. Exhale and simply bring your right arm alongside your body, palm facing down. Inhale and sweep your arm back overhead. Exhale your arm back alongside your body, palm facing down. And inhale your arm back overhead. One more time, exhale. And inhale. Now I'll invite you to stay for a few more deep breaths. And of course, coming back to our theme of self-love, what can you do to make this a little sweeter? Maybe you could take your bottom hand, clasp your top wrist, and gently pull onto the wrist. Maybe that's too much. Two more breaths. Bend your knees. Bend your elbows, press yourself up part way. And then you'll take your pillow and put it underneath your left ear. Have your knees stacked at a 90-degree angle and your arms in crocodile arms, so right out in front of you. Inhale your right arm up towards the sky. Draw the arm bone in a bit so we don't hang out in the joint too much. And then exhale the arm to open. You can look over that shoulder if it feels okay for your neck. Inhale your arm back up. And exhale your hands to meet. Just like that. Inhale, arm up. Remember to keep drawing the humerus bone into the shoulder socket. Integration, and then exhale the arm to open. Look over your shoulder if it feels okay. Inhale your arm up. And exhale your hands to meet. Last time before we hold. Inhale your arm up. Keep drawing that arm bone in. And then exhale the arm to open. Look over your right shoulder. Your arm may touch the floor. You may want to put a pillow underneath your arm for support if this is too much. We'll stay here for about 6 breaths, opening up in the chest area, the pectoral muscles. Inhale your arm back up. And exhale your hands to meet. Use your top hand as leverage to press you up. I always think it's kind of fun to notice how one side feels compared to the other. That maybe the one shoulder is more lubricated than the other. Let's take it to the other side. So grab your pillow, your bolster, whatever. You're gonna fold it in half. Maybe lay another pillow over it, make it bigger like a bolster. And then lay your your left side, oh, I can't remember, the opposite side over the bolster. You could bend your knees. You could bend your elbows and place a pillow underneath your head if you need to modify, or just leave the arms straight. And now, before we hold, we'll move. Take a deep inhalation. Exhale your top arm alongside your body. Inhale, reach your arm back overhead. And exhale your arm back alongside your body. Inhale, arm overhead. And exhale, arm alongside your body. Last one before we hold. Inhale. And then exhale to stay. You can decide if you want to take your bottom hand, clasp the top wrist, and gently pull onto your top arm to optimize the stretch. Two more breaths. Bend your knees. Bend your elbows. Press yourself up. Place your pillow, make it flatter underneath your head. And you make it to the right height that works for you. I'm going to use a block. So you have your ear onto your block or your pillow. Have your knees stacked at a 90-degree angle and your arms in front of you in crocodile arms. Inhale your top arm up. Draw that humerus bone into the socket and then exhale the arm to open. Inhale your arm up. And exhale your hands to meet. Inhale, arm up. Exhale your arm to open. Inhale your arm up. And exhale your hands to meet. Last one before we hold. Inhale. And especially when you're holding, make sure you integrate that humerus bone into the socket. You don't want to hang out too much in the joint. And then exhale the arm to open. If you need, you can place a pillow or something underneath the arm to give you extra added support. Or maybe you don't need that. Either way, it's all good. Breathe. Inhale your arm back up. And exhale your hands to meet. Use your top hand as leverage to press you up to seated. Now I'm going to be mirroring in the moment to make it easier. Take your knees to the right, your feet to the left. Have the right sole of your foot touching your left knee. Got it? I'll give you a second. And then have your pillow ready if you want it. You might not. Square your torso off over your right leg and fold forward to the depth that serves you. So maybe you want to put your head on the pillow. Maybe your head can go onto the floor. And depending on tightness in the body, you could be in different spots, but you should ideally feel this in your right butt area, right in the glutes, the piriformis. This is really good for any SI issues, low back pain. If you want a little more, you can take your left ear to a block or the pillow so you're facing in the opposite way. This helps to open in your neck, but it might be way too much for some of you. You choose. Just so you're mentally prepared, we'll spend about 10 breaths here. Deep, slow, nervous system calming breaths. About 5 more breaths. Move if you need or stay if you can. Inhale, press yourself up. Exhale. Before we go to the other side, bring your left leg around to the front so the soles of your feet are touching and your knees are wide apart. In this moment, I want you to have lots of space between your heels and your pelvic floor. We're gonna go a cat-cow variation. Take your hands underneath your shins, palms facing down. Isometric is the action without the movement. Inhale and isometrically pull your hands towards you and pull your heart through your arms. And then exhale, press your hands into the earth, push through that space between your shoulder blades. Inhale, pull your hands towards you, look up. And exhale to round back. A few more times. Good, last one. Inhale, come out of the posture. Exhale, take your knees to the left and your feet to the right. Have the left sole of your foot touching your right knee. Square your torso up over your left leg and fold forward to the depth that serves you. You can stay here. You can place your forehead onto a pillow or the floor, or I I enjoy for my neck to put my right ear onto my block, pillow, whatever. So I'm looking in the opposite direction. And again, for some of you, that might be way too much. Breathe.
Seasons changing, the soul is thrown from ceiling, and I'll keep my voice to the trees, standing tall for all.
About 5 more breaths.
And I won't hold you back. Beside my footsteps with. Oh, the sun is setting, begins another morning, and I
Press yourself up.
to the seas.
Cross your legs in front of you. If you don't like to cross your legs, don't. You can straighten them out. Doesn't matter, okay? It's going to be more about the neck and shoulders anyways here. Clasp your fingers, take your hands behind your head. Inhale, lengthen throughout your spine. Exhale, bring your chin towards your chest and your elbows together. You can round here. Inhale your head up and your elbows apart. Exhale and repeat, lower down. Continue to move in this kind of way. Inhale. And exhale. The next time you exhale, stay. Take your head slightly to the left so you feel a stretch on the right side of your neck. Breathe into the tension. Find it. If you have no tension in your neck, let me know your secret. Take about 4 more breaths. Look back down towards your feet and then take your head slightly to the right until you feel that nice stretch in the left side of your neck. You can watch your bellies rise and fall with the breath here. Two more breaths. Look back down. Inhale your head up and your elbows apart slow. Exhale, release your arms. Inhale, roll your shoulders up. And exhale them down. A few more times. Great. Release. One more little movement before we get out of this position. Switch your feet. Inner thighs back, sit bones grounded, legs can be straight as well, remember. Take your left hand by your side, fingers facing away from your bum. Inhale your right arm up. Exhale, reach over to the left, but keep your right sit bone grounded down. Inhale through center. And exhale to the other side. One more time each side. Inhale. And exhale. Last time. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale both arms up. And exhale your hands to heart center. The next thing I'd like you to do, and I'd like to demonstrate, is grab your bolster. So I'll show you this mid part of the back. We can hold a ton of tension there. It is the least mobile part of the spine. It's nice to open up there, open hearts, open minds. You could use a bolster. You could use your rolly thingy and a pillow on it. If that's too much, again, just fold your pillow in half lengthwise, and then you put it along your mat and you lay onto your pillow so it's just underneath your bra line. And you'll come into a little heart opener. Really nice. You could, it's actually really nice with the pillow. The bolster's too much. You could put another little pillow underneath your head if you need that extra support. Now this time, I want you to take your feet the width of the mat and allow them to fall together. So even though it doesn't feel like much of a stretch, again, it's another way to relax those hip flexors. They'll feel soft to the touch. You can take your arms out into a T or a stop sign. And breathe. Again, just so you're mentally prepared, we'll stay here for about 10 breaths. This is the theme of self-love. Open hearts, open minds. Can you relax your shoulders open even more? About 5 more breaths. Make sure your chin's tucked in, no tension in the neck and shoulders. Two more breaths. One more breath. Draw your feet closer together. Roll onto one side. If you feel stuck, you're not alone. And I'm actually going to ask you to push yourself up and come into child's pose. Child's pose is a great counter posture for back bends. You'll feel the release in your back. So big toes touching, knees wide apart, and hands out in front of you. Forehead can connect to the mat. If this doesn't serve your hips, knees, or ankles, you take puppy and you simply stick your butt in the air. So either way. One more breath. Good. Now, walk your hands over to the left. Keep your right sit bone grounded down. And bend your right elbow. Take your right hand and clasp your left arm. And then gently pull onto your arms. You feel this huge opening on the right side of your body. 5 breaths. Two more breaths. Release. Inhale your arms back through center. Exhale your hands over to the right. Keep your left sit bone grounded down. Bend your left elbow, clasp your right arm, and then gently pull onto your arm so you feel this sweet stretch along your left side body. Good. Inhale your hands back through center and come back up. And then I'd like you to make your way into your final resting posture. Actually, let's place the blocks or the bolster, whatever you have underneath your knees. And again, the more height you can get, the better. So again, the best you can do to mimic a bolster. You can have your big pillow and 2 little pillows on top. Oh. My bolster. Take your time getting there. We'll do a touch more movement before we completely relax. As you surrender into the posture, check in on the alignment. Make sure your chin's tucked in but not forced in, so you have lots of length in your cervical spine. You may even place a little tiny pillow underneath your head. Have your shoulders walked in, and then you could scoop the tailbone to find elongation in the low back. Take a deep inhalation, allow your bellies to rise. Exhale and slowly look over one shoulder. Inhale your head through center, bellies rise. Exhale, look over your opposite shoulder, belly sink back towards your spine. One more time each side, just for good measure. Inhale. And exhale. Last time, other side. Inhale. And exhale. Now inhale, your head back through center. Exhale and stay. And we'll bring our awareness back to my theme. It's been the same theme I've had all week, and the importance of self-love. And of course, within reason, I think that this theme is so important because when we take time for ourselves, it affects everyone around us in a positive way. Can you surrender into the space beneath you even more? When I take time for myself, it helps me to be a better parent, a better spouse, a better daughter, a better sister. But let me tell you, it is not always easy. And this is why I think it's so important that we practice these principles on the mat so that they can become more tangible in our everyday life. Take a few more breaths. Gently roll onto one side and draw your knees in. Take a moment to give gratitude for your practice. Taking this time just for you on so many levels will affect everyone around you in a positive way. Keeping eyes shut even still, I'll invite you up into a comfortable seated position, taking your hands to heart center. People often come to yoga to become stronger, more flexible, and more balanced. I hope you leave your mats today feeling stronger in your hearts, more flexible in your minds, and more balanced in your everyday lives. Namaste.